Applying the Sharia law, the authentic Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, in all um, occurrences, circumstances, in all of our life's affairs. Yes, we believe that we've been invaded as countries, which we don't like. Curriculums were changed. As a result, the Muslims lack to know a lot about their history, about their dignity, about many things. But they missed this because of the changing of the curriculums that occurred after colonizing their countries. But there's something which was worse than that. Even before the last 2 or 3 centuries, much before than that. And that was at the 3rd and the 4th generation after Islam. Greek ancient books of philosophy and theology were translated. And we believe that this is also a cultural attack, invasion, cultural invasion, which was worse than the last 2 centuries of the new cultural invasion. As a result of this, we have something called argumentative way or method of theology. We call it in Arabic ilm al-kalam, which fruited a lot of division in the ummah. They contained rules that caused the worst consequences. Or one of them, denying Allah's names and attributes, twisting their meanings, causing the ummah to be divided because of that, arguing about the matter of predestination of Allah. Some of them, they used Allah's destination as a proof that people metaphorically have a will, metaphoric will, but the one who influences all of their behavior, all of their actions is Allah. And that we call them the Jabriya. The others, they said no. Allah has nothing to do with the evil actions of His creatures. He has nothing to do with them. And they were divided into 2 categories. One, they deny the knowledge of Allah, knowing about the future. They denied it. The others, they approved Allah's knowledge about the future. Advanced knowledge, they call it. Al-ilm al-sabiq. Some of them, they accepted it, they approved it, but they contradict themselves. So which one is worst? The first one. The first one who denied Allah's knowledge in advance about what's going to happen. That's why Ash-Shafi'i said, debate with those Qadari people. If they approved the advanced knowledge of Allah, then it would be easy for you to show their contradiction. But if they denied Allah's knowledge about what's going to happen, then you can prove them disbelievers. Because not believing that Allah knows about the future, that means there's a lack of knowledge with Allah the Almighty. All of these things, they caused people to be misled by people who claim to be defending Islam, but at the same time, they are ruining Islam. That's why we say, those rules, as we call them, prefaces of knowledge, they will be causing evil consequences, and also false imagination and conception about Allah. Another issue, every doctrine, every worship that had not been mentioned precisely by the book or the authentic sunnah, and there was no ijma'. Ijma' means consensus of the companions. If we don't find any matter of worship, any matter of doctrine mentioned by the book or the authentic sunnah, or by consensus of the companions, then this is a false worship that we should give it no consideration. We have to affirm every single matter among the issues of doctrine that have been authentically credited, mentioned, reported by book, authentic sunnah, about matters of doctrine, what to believe, and we should not reject any of them, or twisting its meaning by giving it another meaning, thinking that this will be more suitable for Allah's attributes. Because we believe that Allah knows better than all of His creatures what suits His majesty. And we should not precede the mind over the book and the authentic sunnah. We should not. Because minds vary. Minds vary. Minds vary. My mind disagree with your mind. So if my mind and your mind conflicted, what should we do? Then we should go to the book and the sunnah. We believe that the mind is a servant. The mind is a servant. To who? To Allah's constitution. Allah's constitution and law, Sharia, is the master, and our mind is a slave. And it is impolite that you precede the servant over his master. We believe that the value, the status of the mind compared to the revelation is just as the value of the eye compared to the light. What does this mean? That means to say the eye's value cannot be denied. But without the light, the eye has no task to give. It will malfunction. It will stop the functioning of the eye. The eye will not be able to see. Why? It requires a light to see. And we believe that the Book of Allah is the light. So the eye is the condition for the sight. But without the light, there is no sight. Likewise is the matter of the mind. The mind without revelation is just like the eye without light. The mind without revelation is just like the eye without light. You can't say, my eye first, then the light. No, your eye is nothing if there's no light. So, as a matter of Allah's attributes are concerned, the issue is that we affirm, we do not indulge ourselves falsely in the matter of Allah's names and attributes, speaking without knowledge, calling our twisting ta'wil. Ta'wil means interpretation. Yeah, even ta'wil, interpretation, there's a good interpretation and a bad interpretation. So when we talk about Allah's names and attributes, that this is metaphoric, while this should not be metaphoric, there is no law here. Either you use one ruling, one law for all Allah's attributes, or not. But don't say that I'm allowed to use this metaphorically, but the other one no. This will be similar to a desire following. Especially when we know that what they call it metaphorism, okay, it's based on possibilities. You can't say this is definite. It's possible. And those who give those possible meanings, in many cases we saw them disagreeing with one another. They're bringing contradictory kinds of interpretations. Each does not agree with the other one. And it is a matter of worship to us is the following. Affirming what Allah had affirmed to Himself regarding His names and attributes. Affirming what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala described Himself, this is a matter of worship. Well, let me say for the sake of argument, if I say for example, Allah's hand means Allah's power, okay? So we gave it a false meaning. Will Allah be asking me, for example, if Allah said in the Quran that He has two hands, as He described Himself in the Quran, and I affirmed that, and I said, yes, that's what I believe. Now some people come and blame me and say, no, you should believe that Allah meant by that power, not two hands. My question will be, what if I stand before my Lord at the Day of Judgment and He asked me, why don't you believe that my hands mean my power? I'll be saying to Him, oh Allah, I just described you with that you described yourself. But if He said to me the opposite, why did you twist the meanings of my hands as power? Did I say that? Then I can't give any answer. That is why we won't be blamed if we affirm to Allah what He had affirmed to Himself. And the Quran cannot be consistent, neither in its backside or front side. It should never ever contain any kind of contradiction or falsehood. Never ever. But as for the mind, yes, it may consist falsehood, false imaginations, whisperings of the devil, lack of knowledge, sickness of the mind, mentally retarded people. Minds vary. So minds are not perfect. So how can you let your mind be supervising or superseding or watching over Allah's names and attributes? Can't be. Regarding the matter of the companions of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, those who supported him, those who sacrificed their lives, gave their property, their souls, and everything cheap for supporting this final prophet on earth. We should be praising them. We should be asking Allah to reward them for what they did. Those who used to be preferring others over themselves. We should not be showing any kind of transgression or assault or dispraising or blaming or cursing or hating. Any of these things, we should not be attributing them to the companions of Rasulullah. There is a great deal of respect to them and trust in their methodology and their way of faith, which was significant. Subhanallah. Those are the madrasa, school of Rasulullah, of the Prophet Muhammad. Anything of dispraising or cursing or insulting or classifying them as disbelievers or apostates, the blame will not be only against them, but the blame will be on the one who established the school they graduated from. Therefore, regarding those who had passed before us, even if there was something between them, our task is just like what Allah said. وَالَّذِينَ جَاءُوا مِن بَعْدِهِمْ. As for those generation who came after them, that means after the companions, يقولون ربنا اغفر لنا ولإخواننا الذين سبقونا بالإيمان. They say, oh Allah, grant us forgiveness, as well as forgiveness for those who preceded us in faith in Iman. ولا تجعل في قلوبنا غلا للذين آمنوا. And do not keep in our hearts, in our souls, any kind of resentment or hatred against those who preceded us in Iman. We should not be involving ourselves in debating the people of innovation or people of desire, because we know that those people, they follow their desire. They're not serious in following every single aspect of the book and the authentic sunnah, but they follow their desires. We should not be listening to them or exploring their doubts, in which will be spreaded maybe by our tongues, but arguing with them in the way that is best. It is good, especially if they were argued by someone who is skillful in knowing the book of Allah and the authentic sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now, making people understanding their deen and inviting them to practice it, to apply it, to make it applicable in the details of their lives, and also seeking to apply also the good morality that the Quran and the Sunnah invited people for, which will be, I hope inshallah, guaranteeing Allah's pleasure and causing them or admitting them happiness and dignity. The other issue is to warn the Muslims from any kind of shirk, regardless of what type of that shirk. Because shirk, polytheism, may take many, many different forms and aspects. We should be warning people from that, as the Prophet used to be warning his companions. He said to one of his companions, never conduct or commit shirk. Even if you were to be burned or shredded in pieces, never. And never drink the intoxicator. And he also said that those who drink it, and that means they did not repent from it before they die. They died while they were drunkards. They will be deprived from drinking the sweet and tasteful khamr of the Day of Judgment. The unity of the Muslims is, as I mentioned, it is very important, but not on the account of the truth, not on the account of the book and the authentic sunnah. No. So, other than that, the unity is very important. We believe that those current cults and sects, they caused much hatred to Islam, such as beating themselves up, having some anniversaries of, for example, the death of Hussein, the grandson of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Some people, they do things that really discourage people from entering or coming to Islam. Every single year, they have this problem. We believe that scholars are the real leaders. And their influence should not be hidden away or should not be unseen to the people. They should be having influence. because they were ordered to speak the truth, even if it may cause them death. If they made mistakes, and we believe that they're not infallible, if they fell in mistakes, we believe that even their mistakes are much less than those ignorant people who fall in mistakes because of their ignorance. Seeking to get closer and closer to Allah by His obedience, and by obeying those whom Allah ordered us to obey, and that is our leaders. As long as they obey Allah and fear Him regarding us. That makes me to remember one of the leaders in war that the Prophet entrusted him to lead some people and to go and fight with them. He got angry with his people and he said to them, I strictly order you to go and collect wood from the valley. Didn't the Prophet order you to obey me? They said, yes. He says, so this is my command. So they went and they started to bring the wood for him, and he ordered them to flame the wood. And they flamed the wood. And he said to them, I strictly order you to throw yourself in it. And they were about to do it. But suddenly one of them said, wait a minute. We didn't follow Muhammad, but for the salvation, for the matter of salvation, to save ourselves from hell, from fire. How come we obey this man when he said to us, throw yourselves in the fire? We follow the Prophet Muhammad to avert ourselves from fire. So the man's temper cooled down, and he stopped ordering them to throw themselves in the fire. And they went and they asked the Prophet ﷺ, and they were shocked by his answer. The answer was, if they entered it, they won't get out of it. Because obedience should be in something that is good and disobedient to Allah. We love every Muslim relatively to what obedience to Allah he has. And we may hate him because he disobeyed Allah the Almighty. We love the Sunnah. And believe me, we are so owed. We owe ourselves to those who support the Sunnah, giving them all what we have. Because inviting people for truth, that means saving them from hell. That means saving them from what people are involved with, such as taking Jesus as Son of God, as one of the Trinity, etc., etc. We believe that the book of Allah, the Quran, is not created. Because Allah said. Because the Quran is a combination of Allah's words. So we believe that the Quran is the word of Allah. And our salvation is based on obeying the last testimony. Look, the Christians have the Old Testament, the Old Testament, the Old Testament, the New Testament, and we have the final testament. The Jews said to the Christians, it's not fair. The Christians say to the Jews, that's not fair, that you take the Old Testament and you leave the New Testament. But the Jews say to them, who told you that the new thing you have isn't our old? Then the Muslims say to those who have the Old Testament and the New Testament, we have the newest and the latest testament. So, if it's not fair for the Christians to follow the Jews, then it is not fair that the Christians themselves do not accept our book and our prophet. the matter of charging someone with kufr, disbelief. We believe that the believer may say a word of disbelief, and he will not be instantly considered as a disbeliever because of it. Because we believe that the believer may speak a word of disbelief, and we won't be charging him with disbelief, all right, until we verify all things, that he has no excuse, that he didn't know about this, etc., etc. Other than that, he has no excuse. It amazes me when I read the Quran and I reach to this ayah, when Isa alayhi salam was asked by his disciples, "Can your Lord descend for us a table of different tasty types of food?" Then what Isa said, he didn't say, "You became disbelievers. Yalla, say la ilaha illallah to be able to return your wives," because automatically when you became disbelievers, your wives are divorced. So you have no access to them. Sometimes, we use that term as a jokefully kind of, it's for entertainment. So when those people, the disciples of Isa, Jesus, they said to him, "Can your Lord descend for us food from the heaven, from the sky?" Then Isa said, "Fear Allah if you are believers." He gave them warning. Yes, we know that this is kufr. Can your God? With his wonderful character, the Prophet Jesus, Isa alayhi salam, he said to them, "Fear Allah if you are believers." He didn't say, "You're disbelievers already. Come back to Islam. Come back to faith." No, he didn't say that. Unlike what some people may do. After that, they showed him their justification. They said, "نريد أن نأكل منه." We just want to eat from it. وتطمئن قلوبنا, and our hearts find reassurance. وَنَعْلَمَ أَنْ قَدْ صَدَقْتَنَا, and by that will be knowing that you are truthful to us. وَنَكُونَ عَلَيْهَا مِنَ الشَّاهِدِينَ, and will be witnesses for that at the day of judgment. So how many reasons they gave? But when they said to Isa alayhi salam, "Can your Lord descend for us a table from the sky?" he said to them, "Fear Allah if you are believers." And also one of the companions of the Prophet who witnessed the first battle, which is Badr battle, and every Muslim know that, even some Christians may know that. One of those soldiers, in the next battlefield, in the next fighting, in the next war, he was seen sending a paper by the Prophet and giving it to a woman. Or the Prophet was revealed that this man had done such and such. And he ordered that companion, he ordered that woman to go to Mecca and tell them, "Watch out, Muhammad is on his way to you." Which is treachery, betrayal. Then the Prophet ordered his cousin Ali to go and to chase that woman. And there was a pursuit to that woman. He said to him, "You will find her in so and so place." Ali went to the same place as the Prophet described to him, and he saw the woman and he said, "Give us the message you have." She said, "What message? I have nothing." He said, "Give us the message." She said, "No, because I have nothing." He said, "Either you show the message or you have to show something else. We're going to detect you. We're going to search you all over." Because they trust what the Prophet said. So she was terrified, and she took the paper and she gave it to them, and it contained something horrible, which was done by a great companion. And we know what Allah said to the companions of Badr Do whatever you want to do, for I have already forgiven your sins. Which is something that's really beautiful, subhanAllah. So look at the reaction of the Prophet ﷺ. He said to him, what did cause you to do that? He didn't say, oh, I got the message, I got the news that you have sent a message, etc., etc., so now you became kafir, kill him. That's not what the Prophet did, and that's not his character. Refuting sometimes those people of bid'ah, innovation, from time to time. We do it in order to maintain the pure doctrine among the layman people, because those are contaminated. They are contaminated with disease. So we have to refute them for the better of maintaining Islam and making things clear, returning people to the layman people to the pure doctrine that the Prophet and his companions had before. So we do not refute someone for the sake of arguing or for a special disagreement or hatred between us and those people. No, this is not the case. Is this negative or positive? No, it is positive, because it will end with showing people the truth clearly. And that's why Allah the Almighty said, وَكَذَلِكَ نُفَصِّلُ الْآيَاتِ, and thus we detail the signs, the news. وَلِتَسْتَبِينَ سَبِيلُ الْمُجْرِمِينَ, and so the way of the criminals will be verified, very clear, if they are, for example, false people, or they are misguided. Calling the Muslims for riots, revolutions, coup d'etat, anything like this, we do not encourage that. Or killing, ambushing people, or killing innocent people, or to make it easy on us, doing it with cold blood, that we kill them or we assassinate them, etc. This is not allowed, especially when you are not an official army, face to face. You shouldn't be doing anything. The last thing is, Allah made this way, the way of the Salaf, the predecessors, is a scale. It's at the heart of the issue. And He made it as an evidence and plea against those who oppose the truth. That is why Allah the Almighty said, وَمَن يُشَاقِقِ الرَّسُولِ, whoever disagree with the messenger, مِن بَعْدِ مَا تَبَيَّنَ لَهُ الْهُدَى, after the guidance was shown clearly to him, وَيَتَّبِعْ غَيْرَ سَبِيلِ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ, and he follows a way which is other than the way of the companions, the believers, نُوَلِّهِ مَا تَوَلَّى, we will let his loyalty go further and further to those enemies. وَنُصْلِهِ جَهَنَّمْ, then we will let him taste the punishment of Jahannam. وَسَاءَتْ مَصِيرًا, and what an evil abode in it. This is what I wanted to mention to you about what are the forms, the formula of our beliefs. Is it proper? I hope you find what I mentioned to you proper and sound. And I believe that doctrine affects your actions. If you have false actions, that will be affecting, if you have false doctrine, then as a result and fruit, you'll be having false conduct and behavior and action. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to provide us and support us to follow the way of guidance until the moment we give up our souls. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.